And now, Courtney, for you, it's all you. So how are you determining how you manage that frequency?
Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is, look at the overall content, right? So at Papa John's, we have what we call limited time offers. So right now it's the Shakaroni, and that's out for $12.99. So we're telling everybody about it, but it's like, you may have never ordered a Shakaroni and you don't like pepperoni pizza. You're never gonna order it, right? So
Who doesn't like pepperoni pizza?
there's people out
Can I
there.
talk
They
to them?
are out there.
They're
yes.
a cohort.
So, it's important definitely to do announcements and do full files for that. I'm totally fine with it. But other than that, it's then how do you start incorporating the more personalization? And so we've redid all of our templates, and we're trying to get more personalized. And, while we may be forced, if you will, to include the LTO, we're also adding on, we know you're a wing lover, and we're doing a lot more propensities, working with the data team on the models, and we're starting to get into gamification on, order more products. We're also trying to increase ticket, right? So we have a lot of products that you can add on to a pizza. So we're trying to do the ticket builder. So, I think that there's times when you have to go full file, and then there are times when you shouldn't. And then also when it gets down to the channel, when is it appropriate to send an email versus an SMS and push? We get questions all the time, both from leadership as well as from the franchisees, like, what's the best time to send a communication? What's the best day? Well, I think about my day. I'm not checking email at 5 o'clock. I'm like rushing to get out of the office and get home. So a push notification reminding me to feed my family is probably a good tactic, where I'm not checking my email at 5. So, we've been doing a lot of testing of when to send the email, push, and SMS, and they don't all necessarily have to go out at the same time. And you necessarily don't have to get all three either, So I think we're all trying to figure it out, but I would just say testing and proving it out is really what we're focused on right now.
And then you have the data to back up what your hypothesis was, to say that we did this test, now let's do this iteration of that test, and maybe something else will come out. But I also find that send time optimization always changes. So, for pizza, Thursday, 7 o'clock, maybe too late. Thursday, 4 o'clock, everybody's like, oh, that's gonna be perfect, that's great. And you're like, yeah, but Sunday at the football game was actually great.
Well, and when you're talking pizza, right? I mean, we look at what's playing on Saturday and Sunday, and so we adjust a lot of times. We also send in the user's time zone, but then sometimes if we know that the big game's happening at 1 Eastern, we may just send a little bit earlier on the West Coast because they're still watching the game for a 1 o'clock Eastern game. So there's a lot of different strategies, especially, around pizza. And, maybe Sundays aren't great unless it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's actually a really big day, so it just varies.
Yeah, and for Paramount, we have a lot of timing around if a show drops at 8 o'clock Eastern, and it's going to be a weekly drop, and this is the first episode, or is it the 4th episode? You've got to catch up. So those are going to be obviously sent at 2 different times, because we want you to do it whenever you're watching the show. And then a lot of times we'll revert to, if the user hasn't been eligible, maybe they're not opted in to email or push, and that in-app message is not account related, because obviously that takes priority over everything, right? If we don't have your credit card to bill you for the next month, that's gonna be the #1 thing that you see on any platform is, hey, don't forget to visit your account page because we need to bill you next month. Go check your preferences. Please opt in too, so that you get an email about this next time. But we'll also then showcase, hey, did you know that this show is out there? There's a new season of The Chi coming out, and did you know that it is coming out? Because it might not have been messaged to you, it might not have hit the wire yet. Like, all of those different channels have that sweet spot, when to use them and when it's just gonna add to the pile.